Hi and welcome to today's practice. Today is day 2 of our emotional alchemy series, and our theme today is moving from maybe some powerlessness through to feeling empowered. So we're not in yin aiming to shame or look at any parts of ourselves as good or bad, but we are looking to work our way through any areas within the body, within our emotional body or our energy that we haven't worked through or sat with. So we're going to be targeting a lot today through the liver and the gallbladder. And we are also going to start by just drinking a little bit of water if you have some water nearby. So feel free to pause the video, go grab a glass. Perfect. Always a good reminder to drink more water, hey? So we are going to grab our bolster and have it nearby. And you always have the option to do every movement in this practice with or without the bolster. As with all yin practices, it's what you want it to be. So I am feeling in the mood for a bit more restoration today. My body is aching a little bit. I've been doing a lot of Pilates, so I need a lot of stretching today. And a little bit of compassion, a little bit of self-love, a bit of ease. You might feel more in the mood for a little bit of discipline, a little bit of tough love. So whatever floats your boat today. We're going to start off by drawing our legs out wide into dragonfly. In yang, we would start with our feet flexed, knees soft, but in yin, we're focusing on where we can melt. So can we guide our legs wide and melt without it feeling too intense? If so, that's your edge. If the second you melt down, it feels far too intense already, then it's probably past your point of comfort for today, so we would need to draw the heels closer towards one another. You could work with a bolster in front of you, so you could lengthways fold over the bolster. You could draw the bolster up high, resting your forehead down and using it more of a nurturing hug. Or we could go without the bolster at all. I am going to go bolster on the side, forearms down, and just resting here. Do what feels right for your body. And begin to switch off. Melting down heavy. The target areas begin to soften and relax into your pose. Areas where you may have been resisting or fighting the pose. Trying to control the depth, going against gravity. Those areas slowly begin to release. Slowly begin to relax. In yin, we have this constant awareness of what feels right for your body. So any areas where there's this overall sensation of warmth, deep stretch, that is perfect. A widespread sensation, maybe from the inner thigh all the way down to the heel, all the way down to the knee, wrapping around the backs of the legs, perfect. But if it's more of a sharpness or a tugging or a pulling at the knee itself or somewhere in the groin or the back, then we know it might not be right for us, so we need to adapt and tailor it to our body. In yin, there is no focus on the aesthetic of the pose. We only focus on how the pose feels within our body. Does it feel right for you? The sensations that we aim for are around a 7 out of 10. Not so intense that all we can think about is when the pose will be over, that we feel like we're pushing our body past its point of comfort, but not so gentle that there's nothing to keep bringing us back to present. The sensations in yin work as a bridge back to present constantly. When you're feeling ready, we walk ourselves up nice and tall. We're going to gently move the bolster away and to one side. Slowly float your legs back together. And our counter pose here is super simple. We're just going to lean back very slightly onto the arms, just letting the hips reset. You can lean against something or you can just rest into your arms. Doesn't have to be perfect here. We are going straight into our next pose in a moment. Okay, when you're feeling ready, we're going to take this right leg. We hook the foot up all the way over and round. The knees aim to be stacked, but it absolutely does not matter if it looks more like this today. As long as we have the energy of scooping that leg up, round and back, with the sole of the foot shining back rather than down. You might stay here, or you might wrap that base leg under as well. Find what feels right for you, and then soften. We are heavy. We are surrendered through the body. Within my mind's eye, I start in the target area. So from the belly button down, you'd really like to be surrendered, melted, heavy, switched off, and relaxed. From there, it's completely up to you how yang or yin your body is. Whether your body is switched on and engaged, or also completely melted down with gravity. So you might find that the arms feel more comfortable yang, controlling how deep you go, especially if we're a beginner or if you have tightness in your hips or your back. If not, you might feel comfortable to completely release control, completely melt into the pose. The more we switch off the physical body, the more the energy, the emotional body, the mind begin to follow suit. We use the body as a vessel, bringing the body into stillness. When we move slowly, we move mindfully, we're super present. This begins to create a stillness in the calm and calmness in the emotional body. In the mind, the waters within begin to still. I often find when my mind wanders that simply drawing my awareness towards my face muscles and allowing them to completely relax from forehead to jaw, ears, eyes, lips, everything soft, the thought often just dissipates away with that. You might find the same for your shoulders, for your hips. Find what feels right for you. We don't need to push thoughts away, but we don't pull them in for conversation either. We just witness them as and when they pop in before shifting our awareness back to the next present moment. Shifting our awareness back into the body, grounding into the sensations we feel. Observe the heaviness of the body on the mat and how held you are by the ground beneath you. The weight of gravity on your pose, where you can melt more and sink into it. how it feels, if there's room to deepen or if you need to ease up. There's a general rule in yin that we find stillness once we're in the pose, but that committing to stillness doesn't mean we don't deepen when the opportunities arise, and it also doesn't mean that we don't ease up when we find we need to. That committing to stillness is more focusing on those constant tiny movements, so we're not fidgeting, we're not moving around, we're not constantly adjusting. We find our edge and we melt into it there. And it also reflects on the tiny movements within the muscles. The muscles are completely still and soft and switched off. They don't have these constant twitches and fighting and resisting. Everything's soft, heavy, and melted in the muscles. We're still for minutes at a time, with the exception of when the pose doesn't feel right for us, we move out of it. When we feel there's space to deepen, we melt into it. When you're feeling ready, we walk our hands nice and tall, and we are going to swap sides. We send our legs out long, coming into our counter pose after. So we're going to scoop that leg up and over, scooping the base leg down and round. You're in your half or full shoelace. So if we're in our half, that base leg sends long still. If we're in our full, both legs are bent, soles of the feet shine back. Arms down by your side. We breathe in and we melt forwards. In our yang practice, we would be really focused on both hips grounding down perfectly, the spine being tall, openness of breath. In yin, we do still want to take these nourishing breaths, but the breath is not controlled at all. The fullness of breath comes more from the relaxation within the torso. So as we carry less tension in the shoulders, in the chest, in the diaphragm, less tension in the belly and the back, we should find that the breath begins to fill the body a lot easier, ballooning the belly, and then contracting back in. We should find that when we are folded forwards as well, the breath fills the back body. We find space to expand, and then we melt into that space. It's normal for your mind to wander the whole way through your practice. Often in our day-to-day life, the mind is constantly going, constantly moving. Even if we find a place to land for a split second, it's then on the move again. So expecting it to completely come into stillness when we're on the mat might be placing a bit too much pressure on the mind. So we instead practice that habit, trying to find stillness, observing thoughts as they occur, trying not to engage with them. We don't push them away, we don't pull them in, we just watch them there. We are the soul, the observer. We are energy, we are spirit, in the human body, with a human brain, experiencing a human thought. The thought does not belong to us. We are just the awareness, the consciousness watching. This is the mindset that we try to adopt throughout our practice, whether or not that's how we think off the mat. It can really help in any meditative practice like this. Creating this space between you and your thoughts. And with this comes this freedom to look at thoughts without judgment, to look at thoughts without feeling towards them. If before we would have a thought and feel pride for that or shame for that, that is completely taken away. Thoughts are mostly habitual, and some thoughts are often just a reflection on where we're at, where our frequency's at, where we're at energetically. We didn't create the thought. We simply brought it in. When we practice yin, we're releasing thoughts, feelings, emotions that we hold deep, deep, deep within our body, and therefore we may have held for a long time. So the thoughts and feelings can feel more attached, more intense, and more difficult to let go of. Therefore, place no pressure on yourself to have to push them away before you're ready. Just sit with them for as long as you need. Yin is about observing, looking inwards, processing, breathing through discomfort. Not the discomfort within the body here we're talking about, but discomfort within your emotional body, within your thoughts, within your mind, things that come up that off the mat you might push down or bat away. In yin, we just sit with it and breathe through it, just like we sit through the intensity of the poses. Okay, when we're feeling ready, we're going to send our legs back out in front, and we're literally just going to lay down here, if you have room. We're coming back up into a seat in a moment. So our counter pose is just a beautiful, simple Savasana pose or corpse pose. We are still, we are long, and we're focusing on the sensations through the inner hips, the groin, the outer hips, the back, side body maybe. Just think about all of the sensations through your body here. Balloon your belly up, melt your belly down. You are heavy, you are relaxed, you are completely held, supported by the ground beneath you. You have absolutely nothing to do, nowhere else to be. Okay, when you're feeling ready, as slowly as you can, make your way back up into a nice tall position. We're going to guide our left leg into a right angle and our right leg into a right angle, like so. So this is our deer that we are starting off in. Both hips do start off on the ground, but we're coming into a little twisty. So you might grab your bolster. I really like a bolster in this pose. It helps me relax down, but some of you might find that just that beautiful simplicity of gravity, hard ground, body together, coming together can be really lovely. So find what feels right for you. We are going to melt the heart space down on top of the bolster. I tend to draw the bolster at a diagonal angle, so from hip coming out to the right, because when it's that straight, it's really intense on the side body for me, which means that it's really going to stir up through that gallbladder meridian. We are aiming to stimulate through that area today, so find the swivel that feels right for you, whether you're using a bolster or not, whether it feels right to take sleeping deer like so, or like so. Actually, that feels quite nice for me today, not too intense. So that Pilates needs working out of me. We're going to play around with that top leg. If it feels right to take a step back, so there is space between your sole of your left foot and your right knee, then we do. We take a deep breath in. Oh, there we go. Sometimes the intensity can creep in and build, and that's when we know that the pose might not be right for us. With yin, there is always that ebbing and flowing of intensity, but overall, the intensity should begin to dissipate. When you feel this sharp increase, whether that's alongside your breath or just on its own, you know the pose is too much. Breathe deeply. Allow that dissipation of intensity from the pose to come from your relaxation into the pose. So the more resistance we have in the muscles, in the mind, the more intense the pose will feel. The more we soften and relax, the more we allow ourselves to just be held, be present, be soft. That's when the pose starts to feel very enjoyable. The reason that we're focusing a lot on the liver and gallbladder meridians today is they relate in traditional Chinese medicine theory to feelings of confidence and courage, feelings of empoweredness, feelings of being stuck, and then feelings of movement out of that stuckness. So a lot of the time when we're in a place of stagnation, we can become frustrated at ourselves for not moving in the direction that we want. And that frustration can lead us to feeling disempowered. Sometimes just taking that first step, that bit of movement, is all we need to bring back that sense of inner power that overflows out into everything we do. And it's not a bad thing to go through what we might in day-to-day life consider a negative emotion and a positive emotion. So we're not moving from disempowered to empowered because this is bad and this is good. We're just thinking in this series about alchemizing. We're thinking about processing and breathing through what we can. Processing, moving our way through the emotion to a place of empowerment. Thinking about good feeling emotions, good feeling poses, good feeling thoughts. Allowing yourself to be present and still is sometimes what we need to allow movement. We don't always need to be thinking about the future and actively or physically moving. Sometimes we need to be still and allow movement within. Allow the movement through the meridians. Allow that movement of chi or prana or life force, however you choose to view that lovely universal energy that is always flowing to us and through us. So, sorry, a bit of a tangent. When we are ready, we're going to come up into a seat. We're going to grab that top leg. It was behind us, and we are going to use our arms to scoop it up and round. Both hip bones sit down. Be super mindful of that transition here. We are going straight into the next pose and taking our counter after. So be mindful. If you need to take a counter before, then feel free to come down again into your corpse pose. Doesn't need to be anything fancy. You could take a downwards dog instead if you prefer. You're going ankle over knee and ankle under knee. If that's a bit much for today, then scoop ankle into hip instead. Find what feels right for you. If both feel far too intense, This top leg comes long instead, inner sole of the foot to inner leg. Whether you are upright within your torso or forward folded is completely up to you. We are focusing more on the hips, the groin, the outer glute here. We are soft wherever we can be. Allow a complete relaxation down. As I was mentioning before, that life force that we work with in yin is always flowing. It's always available to us in abundance. It brings with it universal love. It brings with it peace, abundance, health, everything good, essentially. When we allow ourselves to relax and surrender, take a step back, release control, it can flow to us and through us much easier. The energy body is so intelligent, so smart. We don't need to do anything at all. It knows exactly what to do. It's thought that when we have tension in the physical body, in the fascia, in the muscles, that parts of the system, the meridian system, can begin to flow less harmoniously. We can experience blockages, areas of stagnancy, areas of hypermovement, so we feel excess or lack of specific emotions. So when we practice yin, we're just bringing a harmony back into our meridian system. We're not aiming to feel the best feeling emotion all the time, or the worst feeling emotion. We're aiming to come into balance. So essentially, each meridian is thought to relate to different emotions. We're working very much with ones that relate to feelings of anger, frustration, courage, stuckness, movement. So we're not aiming to never feel anger, always feel compassion and joy. We're aiming to come into a space in the middle, that peacefulness where we can healthily move along the spectrum, where you can process things and alchemize emotions, essentially. You can sit with anything that comes up. We can experience the full range of human emotion without judgment. Okay, when you're feeling ready, we are going to take our legs out of this pose. We're going to move the bolster onto the other side, but first we are coming into our counter pose. Sorry, I'm being super lazy with my counter poses today. We're just coming back into corpse pose. I secretly find this one of the best counter poses because your whole body is just so supported. Your whole body is outstretched long. And you can really feel the sensations running through your body here, I find. Funnily enough, I did a psychology degree, and one of our things that we spoke about was the ability to feel your heartbeat. And this is something that throughout my whole yoga career, I've always said, tap into the sensation of your heart beating here. And it was only when I took that psychology degree, I realized about half of the population cannot actually feel their heart beating by simply trying to focus on that. So often when I say tap into the sensation of energy moving in your hips, I often think, gosh, that must be really difficult. If people cannot feel the heart beating, then trying to go finer than that and feel that blood flow or that rush, or even more deep, that prana that we talk about, that might be impossible. So don't worry if I ever say focus on the sensations moving here and you can't feel anything. That's okay. That's absolutely fine. Okay, when we're feeling ready, we're going to come back up into our seat. We're coming onto the other side. So we take our lovely right angle in the right leg, right angle in the left leg, and we might send that leg back. You could do this once you're in your deer, or you could do it now if that feels right for you. I'm going to take that little diagonal angle with my bolster. You do what works for you. You could go no bolster if you prefer. We are going to frame that bolster, and then we move our way down slowly, slowly. Relax your forehead, relax your jaw. Your breath is soft and full. Your shoulders curl round. The breath moves the body gently. The deeper we go into our yin practice, the more that yin energy begins to feel more comforting, more enjoyable. The more I can be silent, and you can enjoy that silence. The more the body can be still, and that feels like rest and release, rather than having to commit to an intense pose. It feels more restful, rejuvenating, needed. The more we nourish that yin energy. And we don't need to do much yin to bring balance into our energy body. Our day-to-day life can be so yang, so on the go. So much is needed of us. We're constantly having to decide and do and act. Even just 5 minutes of yin in the evenings, just to decompress, just to release from the body anything you've built up throughout the day. That can be so powerful, just to bring that tiny bit of balance. One practice a week is sometimes all we need to completely shift us into that mindset of I am okay as I am. I don't need to be constantly moving forwards, changing, running, forcing, controlling. I can just allow and surrender and be as I am, perfectly as you are. That permission that we get in yin can shift everything. Okay. When we feel ready, as slowly as we can, we're going to make our way up. We are going to scoot that leg all the way up and round, planting ankle on knee, knee on ankle. We are tall, and then if you feel comfortable to move forwards, you can. If you'd rather stay up, you can. This is your practice and your pose. Just checking my mic was on. I've had so many issues recently. Filmed whole classes and then realized the mic was off. We are going to move forwards if that feels right for you. Soften down through the arms if you like. I often find that turning the palms up can be a really nice way to release any temptation to control the intensity with the hands if that's not something you want to be doing. Some people want to have that element of control so that they can completely switch off through the target area without thought. Other people find it easier just to take every muscle in the body into relaxation. So find what works for you. Switch off as much or as little as you like. This is your practice, your time with yourself. There is no right or wrong way. If thoughts arise, notice which ones pull you into conversations the most. Which ones we feed, as it were. The more energy we give a thought, the more it thrives. The more resistance we give a thought, the more it comes back. The more uncomfortable it is, the harder it is to move through. So we just allow thoughts to be there, not pulling them in, not pushing them away. They are just a part of your present moment experience. You are just a soul in a body having a thought. The breath is always there to guide you into the next present moment. The sensations are always there to bring you back into the body, back into groundedness, out of the head. Because we're working with the Meridian system, and we're also just releasing tension from the physical body, both of which relate to emotion. We store memories and emotions and stories in our hips, but equally running through the hips are meridians which hold other emotions and relate to different emotions. So when we practice yin, it can just be a bit of an emotional roller coaster sometimes. We can have all sorts of thoughts pop up, all kinds of attachments, energies, stories, emotions. Sometimes it's just a little shift, can't quite put our finger in it or name it, and other times it bowls us over. Because of this, the meditative element of yin can be both more challenging and more easy in a way. More challenging because we're trying to find that silence, yet stuff is constantly popping up, trying to sit in stillness, but we're being moved in all directions energetically. But it's also, in some ways, a little bit easier than just sitting in stillness with that discipline, because we do have these constant reminders, come back to present. We have these deep sensations within the body that keep grabbing our focus and drawing us back into the body. This is really great for strengthening that habit off the mat as well, of just noticing when the mind has wandered. The more we do this on the mat, the easier it becomes off the mat to simply notice that we're not present and become present. We're here for just a few more breaths. Okay guys, when you're feeling ready, we're going to push the bolster away and come down onto your back. This counter pose is a pose in and of itself. We're going to send both legs long, both arms back, and we can hold our opposing elbow if that feels right for you. We're going to step both legs over to the right and both arms reach up and over to the right, but the hips stay centered. the middle of the mat. This draws this lovely deep stretch all the way down the lateral body. We're switched off and we're heavy. Relaxed through the forehead. We're soft wherever we can be. If you find that the softness of the body pings you back into center, just gently cross one leg over the other. You can do this either way, so either leg can be crossed. I find left over right more comfortable when the body is drawing to the right. So do what feels right for you here. Breathe deeply. Nourishing breaths flood into the belly. And then when you're feeling ready, we go on to the other side. Ballooning breath into the belly, nourishing all the way through the side body, from elbow to little toes. Full breaths in. And when you're ready, come back through center, draw your arms down by your side. We're going to take a little breath here. We're going to breathe all the way down into the belly. Allow that belly breath to overflow up into the diaphragm, up into the chest, and then one firm, complete exhale. Inhale, belly. Diaphragm, chest. Every last bit of the body is full, and breathe out until there is no breath left in the body. You're completely contracting the tummy back. Inhale with mouth closed always. Overflowing up into the diaphragm, up into the chest. Allowing yourself to take up space. Really allowing the chest to be proud as you breathe in. And then that complete exhale, washing every last bit of breath away. The pace of this is completely up to you. Overflow, fill your rib cage. Fill your chest. Release every last bit of breath away. Move at your own pace here. You can exhale with your mouth open or closed. That is completely up to you. But make sure that breath in is mouth closed. Unless we're going for a specific breath that requires the mouth to be open, like a cooling breath, that's usually our go-to on the inhale. If you find you've had a little bit of a throat chakra issue where you get a lot of build-up here or a lot of pain here, or if you keep getting a sore throat, things like that. Sometimes opening the mouth and allowing even the tongue to come out a bit for the exhales can be really empowering, really freeing. Sometimes in engaging through the back of the throat with the mouth open or closed, up to you, can also be really empowering, really clearing. So often when we speak about empowering, we think about the solar plexus and the sacral chakra, but it is very much to do with the throat as well. Feeling empowered enough to speak up for yourself, for what you believe in, for what you need and want. Okay, when you're feeling ready, we're going to move into a comfortable seated position. You are all done. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Thank you for clicking on this video and practicing to the end. If you did make it to the end, then leave a little comment below just so I know how much people are watching. It's always difficult to tell from the little YouTube thing. You can do a little emoji, empowered. We can do one of these emojis, strong and empowered. Lovely to connect with you today, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, whether you are going to bed for a restful night's sleep or just starting your day or taking a little mini midday reset, whatever it is. I hope the rest of the day and week is beautiful for you. Thank you so much.